Hello and welcome back to Link Between Worlds Part 2, and in this part, we'll continue on through Tutorial Land. Tutorial Land in this game takes a bit longer than it's supposed to, but not as long as Tutorial Land would take in, say, I want to say that Breath of the Wild has a significantly worse Tutorial Land, specifically because it doesn't technically fucking end.
That's a real whopper. And not the 2 for $6 kind either. I mean, that sounds outright ridiculous.
Far-fetched and bamboozling, even.
Indeed?
I see the truth right through your gibberish. Come quickly, child.
Well, Impa is a sage palace guard, so...
She is?
Yes, Impa's a sage.
So, where Legend of Zelda Link to the Past made the sages basically their own anonymous characters, Link Between Worlds looked like it took the extra step and it turned everybody into... So it's doing the Ocarina of Time thing, because Ocarina of Time also made sages out of all the characters you meet throughout your adventure.
Yes and no. To be perfectly honest, it tries to do that, but it's actually one of the smaller failings of this game. Although a lot of the characters that we meet end up turning into sages, we don't spend enough time with them to really, justify them being somewhat important. For example, this is pretty much our only actual interaction with Impa before she gets turned into a painting, and then we get one more interaction with her. Well, technically 2 more interactions with her before the end of the game.
Yuga is calling this the Sage Gallery. I bet you never guess why.
It's because he really likes sage as an herb. He like puts it into all of his dishes, and it gets really boring to have him over for dinner. Now, you don't have to read all of these paintings. I think you only technically have to read number 1 and number 5 in order to progress the story. But I read through all of the paintings because, well, I actually enjoy this. This is effectively just retelling the intro cutscene.
The intro cutscene, yeah. It's even using the same exact screenshots. There's just no motion to them.
And then he stabbed him in the pancreas.
That doesn't quite look like it's pancreas, honestly. I would say lower intestine.
Alright, we have read all 5 of the things, as indicated by the dice blocks a la Mario Party.
Hey, Impa.
Are you done reading yet?
Yep, we're done reading now. Up the stairs.
I feel smart.
And now for one of our first 3DS models of Zelda.
Ah, shit. I don't know if I'm totally down with this one. Well, when you zoom out, it's a little easier on the eyes.
Yes. Her ears are far less defined on this overworld model as opposed to her 3D cutscene model. Yes,
but of course.
A rather special charm. Is it like the charms that we got in Minish Cap? No. Those were like one-use items that did doubling of things for a small period of time. Instead, it is the Wind Charm.
My gibberish-speaking hero.
It grants its resistance to wind-based damage. No, wait, that's a different game.
This is a rather well-populated castle.
Yes.
Would be a real
shame then that these NPCs do fucking nothing.
Would be a real shame if somebody mind-slaved them all.
No, they're not gonna get mind-slaved.
Well, because that is totally the thing. See, these guys in Link to the Past, you didn't even have a chance. They were already possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to take electric damage when you swipe at choo-choos.
these are baby choo-choos, okay?
Ah.
Plus, there's a difference between the electric choo-choo and the normal green choo-choo.
And with your new Groucho Marx glasses, you will see amazing hints that will reveal the future.
Yes, you can do that if you want. I do not because it costs play coins, and at
Play
this point,
coins?
I had not figured out that Citra actually allows me to cheat out play coins like mad. So,
But
yeah,
Gerdat, what is
what
a play coin?
Play coin is the currency that you accrue whilst you are traveling around with your 3DS in your pocket, while it's in standby mode. Every 100 steps of that the 3DS gyroscope tracks, it will yes give you a play coin up to 10 play coins a day for 1,000 steps.
So wait, so you accumulate play coins when you're not playing the game?
Yes. Your 3DS has to be in standby mode in order for the gyroscope to track play coin. Well, I think it technically would allow you to work if you were actually playing, but you'd have to be moving around a lot. And given the intensity of a majority of the games in the 3DS library, it would be very difficult to actually move around whilst playing them all.
I could do it. I mean, I could fucking read a book while walking around, as I had mentioned before. Don't do that, by the way, on the side of the road. Yeah, you're on the sidewalk, but you're not paying attention, and there are vehicles traveling on the side of you going 35 miles per hour.
Hey,
Maple.
Bye, Maple. Witch, and she's like a bitch, 'cause she flies away all the time.
Nah, Maple's actually really good in this game. She's one of the few NPCs that we actually get some use out of before she turns into a painting.
Speaking of the painting mechanic, I like the use of graffiti on the walls to just keep it fresh in the player's mind. Yes, you're going to be seeing characters on walls throughout this entire game, and soon it will be you.
No, you won't. No, you won't, Cloud. You'll get to see yourself in walls once we get that spoiler. But yeah. Aside from the knights that are on the castle walls as foreshadowing, we will not actually be seeing all that many characters on walls. There's a spoiler towards the very end of the game that I will not spoil right now, no matter how much you try to make me. That we'll be seeing at the very end of the game, but that is pretty much the only instance where we will be doing anything involving characters that are painted on the walls.
Well, so there, just like any game, you can go about approaching it one of two ways. You could either look up the trailers, and I did see a lot of the trailers for Link Between Worlds, and it was in the trailer, Gerda. It shouldn't come as big as a surprise as you might think that you can travel on the walls in this game, because you could see Link traveling on walls during the trailers. You could also just, let the game do the explaining for you, and, that has its own novelty too.
I don't remember if I was keeping up the trailers for Link Between Worlds, honestly. I knew it was a sequel to Link to the Past, and that was all I honestly needed to know. We are renting the bow! Yes, renting. So, the rental system is what I want to spend the rest of our time complaining about. I dislike the rental system. Not because of the magic meter that's too goddamn small when you get it. No, that's fine. The rental system I have a problem with due to how expensive the items tend to be. It's actually super easy in this game towards the end of the game to get a huge amount of rupees really quickly, but for a good portion of the game it's actually really difficult to accrue enough rupees to permanently buy these items, especially because you don't get the ability to permanently buy items until the second half of the game starts up. Until then, you're forced to do rental items, and rental items is something that I never feel comfortable with. Because when you die, the items that you are renting go back to Ravio, and then you have to rent them again.
Right.
Now, because this is pretty much Link Between Link to the Past 2.0, Dying is not really an issue for me, but I do know that it is actually very beginner unfriendly to have such a huge consequence be associated with death, and I personally do not like it.
We're trying to kill you!
Hey, Osvala. You'll notice that Osvala actually has an item with the Ravio hat on it. Yes, he is renting an item, and this brings up one of the other major problems towards the spoiler that's going to happen in the next part.
Okay, Ralph, we will see you later.
No, he is way less effective than Ralph. Ralph does time traveling stuff in order to make sure that, you know, the past and present actually work. Osvala, well, doesn't, and we'll get into why in the next part.